Hey guys, Brad Nickel from adbeat.com here with yet another short video blog post for you today. Now, one of the funnest parts about using AdBeat is seeing all these new advertisers popping up. Some of them are a bit surprising and are in niches you never think of. So for example, it was recently brought to my attention that there's a company called LifeLock that is spending a lot of money on display. Now, if you haven't heard of them, LifeLock is an identity protection SaaS app. It monitors your credit reports and some of your other personal accounts to make sure that nobody has stolen your private information. And given the amount of data leaks in the past couple of years, they're feeling a real fear that people have. And it's because it seems like every couple months, a new massive retailer or credit card company or bank or whoever gets hacked and millions of credit card numbers are released into the wild. So today we're going to give you a brief overview of what LifeLock is doing on display. They're A/B testing a lot of ads and angles, and some of them are very interesting, and there's a lot of great lessons you can learn from LifeLock. And they're doing a lot of stuff that pretty much every single display advertiser should be testing out. So without further ado, let's check out what they're doing. So first off, let's take a look at the traffic sources and ad network that LifeLock is using. So if we enter into AdBeat, you'll see that LifeLock is using a combination of a few different major ad networks, specifically advertising.com, AOL sponsor listings. They're using direct buys, and of course Google AdWords. Now all these networks and the direct buy tend to have higher quality traffic, which is perfect for LifeLock for a few reasons. First, their software isn't cheap. Low quality traffic sources, or the people that come from them, might not have the cash or the desire to purchase it. And number two, and this is a little bit more subtle, is that they're selling prevention, which is harder to sell than a cure. So in other words, unless you've had your identity stolen before, you're probably not sitting around thinking about your house, how afraid you are about it happening to you. It's not something that's going to bug you every day. And you probably won't think about it until it happens and it's too late. And this is because people are very bad at imagining things that haven't happened to them before. And they tend to think that these types of things will never happen to them and that it happens to other people, but not them. And this is a little bit different than, say, if you were selling a weight loss product. Because a weight loss product is essentially a cure. You're selling a cure to the person being overweight or fat. And being overweight is something that affects people's everyday lives. Every day people wake up, they look in the mirror, and they see that, that ugly gut around their belly. And this kind of makes them feel sad and depressed and unattractive. And most people would sever their right hand if your weight loss solution works. So this is basically a cure, and it's basically something that people are desperate for. Whereas prevention, like LifeLock, is not something that they wake up every day and they think about. So let's take a look at which publishers they're buying their ads on. LifeLock is a product that almost 100% of people could get some use out of because we all have identities, so everybody can have their identity stolen. That means LifeLock buys a lot of traffic from these large news sites and other publishers which appeal to the mass market. So one thing they do, if we take the Huffington Post as an example, is they buy ads on news stories related to hackers and theory. So for example, there's this page on Vladimir Putin hiring hackers, and this page all about the American misconception of privacy. But let's go beyond that. Let's go beyond the content of what is on these publishers. So one thing you want to keep in mind when selecting publishers is you want to take into account the mindset of the person while they browse the site. So news websites can work very well for offers that relieve some sort of fear. And why is this? Well, 99% of news stories are negative. People love to read negative news. Cute puppies being saved is usually a 20-second feel-good segment at the end of a news broadcast. The other 30 minutes is all about the bad things going on in the world. Now this puts people in a negative mood, and when they read the news, they're going to start to enter the world is going to hell in a handbasket frame of mind. And when people are in that frame of mind, the thought of having their identity stolen, it's just another worry that they've got on their plate. It's another discomfort, and they'll want to relieve that discomfort with LifeLock. So frame of mind of a prospect is something you need to remember when you're selecting publishers or analyzing why a certain publisher may or may not be working for your offer. And finally, let's move on to creatives and landing pages. Now one thing LifeLock is really good at is A/B testing different ad creatives and angles. So for example, they've got this testimonial ad from Kim Commando. If you've never heard of her, she's got a blog all about technology. They've got a few ads that mention data breaches. And here's another more timely ad about tax returns and protecting yourself against getting your returns stolen. And since we just passed April, which is tax season, a lot of people are now patiently waiting their tax return in the mail. So this is a topic that's on everybody's mind because they can't wait to get the return check in the mail so they can, go on vacation or buy that new car. But what's really interesting is what they're doing with their landing pages. And this is a little bit more advanced. Well, not really advanced, but it definitely requires a little bit more work, but it's something that's really, really, really smart to do. And that's match up the angles and the text on the ad creatives with your landing pages. So for example, if we click on Kim Commando's ad, it takes us to a page with Kim Commando front and center. If we click on the tax ad, it takes us to a page where it talks about tax return money that was stolen in 2013. And if we click this ad that talks about data breaches, we're taken to a landing page that, you guessed it, talks about data breaches. Now, matching ad creatives to landing pages is called keeping the scent. You don't want to dupe your prospects. You want to show them exactly what they expect to get when they click the ad. And a lot of advertisers test different creatives with different angles, but they send all the traffic to a more neutral landing page that could pretty much fit any of those angles. Now, this is fine, and it's an easy way to test a lot of ad creatives. But I wouldn't be surprised if you saw better results by doing what LifeLock does, matching up the ad text and the ad concept with the landing page text and concept. Even if it's just changing a few paragraphs or a headline or a picture, you don't need to really change the whole page or design. You just want to keep the scent a little bit better by using the same angle of copy in your ad creatives as in your landing pages. Now, this could be the most important takeaway from this entire video, so keep that in mind the next time you're designing ad creatives and landing pages. So let's summarize what we've seen in this video. Number one, when selecting publishers, don't always select based on content. That works, but what also works, and in some cases works better, is selecting publishers based on the mindset of your prospect as they browse the site. Number two, when you're selling a product that prevents and doesn't cure, it's going to be a little bit harder to make the sale because you're not filling a pressing immediate need. You're not filling the need of something that they're thinking about every day. This means you'll probably need better levels of traffic, higher quality, and you might have to use a little bit of fear to make it seem like it's something real that could happen to them. And finally, number three is to keep the scent. Match the copy of your landing pages to the copy of your ad creatives. But taking it even a step further, match the angle, match the exact wording, match the pictures. This takes a little bit more time, but you'll likely see better results if you do this. Well, that's all for today. If you have any questions or comments, please write them below this video. We'd love to hear them. And until next time, see you guys later.